Welcome everybody to PATCHCAST. In this video, we're going to be ranking all the mid lane champions in patch 26.10. Last patch, there were an insane amount of changes to the mid lane meta. And once again, there's been a lot of changes because a lot of champs were apparently OP, some were massively underpowered, and Riot is now balancing the game a little bit better. So the first thing that we are going to do is reflect a little bit on the previous patch, because there were some champs that we were absolutely spot on, but there were also some changes that we didn't properly identify, which led to some champions being completely broken and out of our scope. So let's start with the mid lane quest changes and the impact that the new boots actually had. So you had some words to say about the mid lane quest.
Yeah.
Let's start with that.
Yeah, because I think, before the patch, I was really excited for the change because getting those extra stats would have been really, really nice for us. But it doesn't work how I thought it would work. Number one, it's bonus AD, not total AD, which means that if you play Yone, you're getting like 3 AD from hit. It's like basically you don't even have a quest. Half your quest is gone, right? It doesn't scale with Rabadons, like multiplicatively, or Syndra passive. So it ended up feeling a lot weaker and a lot more unimpactful than I thought, which is a shame. Right? It's definitely a shame.
So I was literally testing it because I was like so excited trying this on Syndra, and I went into practice tool and I had 2 needlessly large rods. I checked plus 17 AP, great stuff. I turned it into Rabadons plus 17 AP. I was scratching my head, something's not going right here, because this was the exact power, the multiplicative effect, but it didn't actually work out like that. We see that we now get about like 20 to 30 extra AP, max 30 max throughout the game on mages. Give me that recall back, please, Riot Games. Yeah. Where's the reset, man?
AD is even worse. I think I played against Yone. Full build, I got 12.
You have 12 AD.
That's 6 items, 12 AD.
That's a long sword, man. Not bad.
It's a long sword, 300 golds.
Yeah, so we mid laners are drawing the short end of the straw again. Like I said in the previous 2 patches, guys, we mid laners need to unite. We need to riot and show the Riot Games that we want a little bit more love towards us mid lane. Okay, let's talk about the outliers from the previous patch. Zed and Nafiri, these champions have been dominating solo queue. I've been perma-banning Zed. I don't want to see that champion in the jungle on a mid lane. It's too OP. Why is that the case, AJ? What did we miss that led to these champions breaking through the meta?
Yeah, so I think, well, just to recap, we really focused on the Deathfire Touch rune. So we didn't put enough emphasis on Voltaic and also the boots. The Omnivamp boots. That combination has been so freaking strong, right? The Omnivamp boots, like just in general, 10% Omnivamp is absurd amounts of healing, right? And then specifically for mid, the upgrade is extremely strong.
Yeah, it's really good.
For an 80 champion who had no damage boots, that's just 5% more damage, right? You're really happy with that. And then Voltaic, we thought it was going to be strong, but it was like game warpingly strong, right? It's definitely probably the best item of the patch. And that warped the champion. Like every assassin can use it. And then the ones that can use it well just became on another level.
Exactly. You can see it reflect in the tier list. They're just too good. Yeah. So let's talk about those items right now, because they're receiving some nerfs. And this is, of course, going to impact these champs as well. The boots are going to get slightly nerfed in the threshold to achieve the maximum Omnivamp is now harder to get. You now need 10 stacks instead of 6 stacks to get the maximum 10% Omnivamp. And the cost also gets increased by 50. So definitely a moderate sized nerf. And when it comes to the item of the Voltaic, we don't know the exact changes yet at the time of recording this, but Riot is nerfing them. So we are going to use these as just going to keep it in the back of our minds when it comes to placing these new champions. So to put it in perspective, these champs were Z tier, like above the S tier strong.
Undershot them. We way undershot them, guys, to be clear.
Yep. Now, after these changes to the boots and the Voltaic, do you think that these champions will have a place in S+? Do you think they're going to get bumped down because the hits are going to be too hard? Of course, Voltaic is going to be a little bit... We're guessing at this point.
So, my guess is going to be where we put them last patch, right? Because that's what we thought the power level was going to be at last patch. Like, pretty good, but not game-warpingly strong, right? So I think with these hits, especially with the champion nerfs, I think they'll be at around A tier, right? That's where I feel. Like, they'll still be really good. I think just, definitely some targeted hits and it's not as effective in my opinion.
Okay.
Because like that's getting triple nerfed, right?
Yeah, well, he's getting triple nerfed indeed as well. He gets the E damage slightly reduced, which hits a little bit. And also the passive target max HP damage also gets hit. For Nefiri, this was mainly problematic in jungle, of course, because she's kind of broken in jungle. And her W mana cost is massively increased, which is really good for mid lane because it's now a lot harder for her to use that. But one of the important key things to keep in mind is that Deathfire Touch also gets nerfed, which was a rune that some Nefiri players took. Yeah. Especially if you then combine it with like Cleaver, which didn't really have a proper cooldown. Procced it real fast on Nefiri. Smolder was also a good abuser. Made these champions very, very strong. I personally think that we're going to see these champions still in the S tier, actually. I think they're still going to be really fucking good.
That good. Yeah. Wow. Even though Zed's getting nerfed, the item's getting nerfed, and the boots are getting nerfed, right?
Yeah, I think they were that good, dude.
Yeah, right. They were like way above everything else, right?
I think Nefiri is not going to be that good. I think Nefiri is probably going to be A tier.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Yeah. I like
so let's still keep an eye on Zed. I'm probably still going to be banning that shit.
I'll still be permanent banning Zed. Yeah.
I don't like Zed.
I've been perma-banning Zed for like 2 years, so...
Oh, really?
Change only gives me more of a reason to leave that guy banned.
The NA high elo Zed players are crying right now, dude. Too many of these fuckers. Right. Okay, let's continue a little bit more with the changes, and then we're gonna like talk about how it affects all of the other champions here in the tier lists. Let's talk about Anivia. Anivia is actually also a vivid user of the Deathfire Touch item because rune, because it actually procs on her single target E, and it keeps it up for 4 seconds. And then you can start proccing it with the R, then you can combine it with the Q, just keep it up for insane uptime. So she now has a rune that she truly enjoys, allows her to deal a lot more damage, and it makes her lane a lot more impressive, which usually was definitely Anivia's weakness. Of course, Anivia could also run different runes, but she's got more options. She loved it. She also was strong, like, beforehand. She was like a pretty decent champion, and they're nerfing her specifically catered towards top lane, because they're nerfing her base armor by 2, and also by her armor growth by 0.4. Now, overall, this is a pretty significant hit because Anivia builds quite a bit of HP, sometimes has double HP bars, in the sense that she has a passive that you sometimes need to get through, and if you can't, it sucks because she's going to respawn. So this is going to hit her quite hard comparatively towards a lot of other champions that would like this stat. Now, Anivia was pretty decent, A tier before. Where would you put her right now? Is this like good enough to bring her back into B tier? Is she still going to be low on the A tier? What do you reckon?
I think she'll be B tier because our B tier metric is solid, right? She's already being picked in pro. Now it was a counter pick, but they were definitely picking her pro and flexing her. So I think the top flex will be a lot weaker. And armor nerf, even against mages, is still a nerf too, because when you auto trade, you're taking 3 or 4 extra damage every single auto attack, right? So this definitely makes her early lane a little bit more annoying. Now, what I'm curious about is how good is Comet on her? Will she opt for Comet now, or is Deathfire Torch still going to be the best thing on her? Is what I'm curious.
Yeah, you gotta ask us. I don't think Comet is necessarily the best on her because of the range increase, and you don't usually proc it at max range on Anivia. Yeah, so I think Deathfire Torch is probably best, and Electrocute is probably also a great option still.
Okay.
Yep. So I think B tier can be good. I wouldn't be surprised if she's still A tier, even through the small nerfs, because I think that this champion is very oppressive. And okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of an interesting monologue here. I used to be a big time Anivia player. Okay, I've played like an insane amount of Anivia in the past. It was like 6 years ago. It was like the first time that I like really shot up to the depths of Grandmaster. And what happened is that I got there not because I was a good player, okay? I was fucking dog shit. But Anivia allowed me to walk past some of my fundamental weaknesses and fix that by just being Anivia. Now, this works in that direction, but it also works in the opposite direction. 80% of players have no fucking clue how this champion works. They have a mental block against this champ. They don't know how this trades. They don't know how this egg works. They don't know what her threat ranges are. They don't know how to team fight into her. And I had when I played in an amateur competitive team at that point, and my jungler, whenever we would like in solo queue session, every single time Anivia got locked in, this guy would already be on the verge of pressing the FF button. There's people that don't fucking know how this champ works. Wow. Yeah.
Fascinating. I see, because I'm biased in the opposite direction. Every time I see this champ, I'm like, I'm so happy. I'm like, this champ's fucking useless. Especially against the champs I play. Like, yeah, she's a good lane against Yone, but like, okay, like, cool. You know, like you win lane a little bit, and then I just take over the game. So, you know, and all the other champs I play, like, I think Hui is gonna be really annoying for Anivia, you know. I don't know. I just personally never been a big fan of Anivia. I think she's so clunky. She's so slow. You got Prio, but you don't really want to move. I'm always just on the fence with her. Just not a fan, personally.
Let's put her in B tier.
Yeah, I think the average of our two opinions puts her in B.
Yep. Next up, we have a change to Galio. Now, Galio got massively nerfed last patch by the removal phase rush. And this put him down into C tier, pure counter pick. He's going to get some love, slightly lower Q mana cost, slightly higher E damage early, and better scaling. And he gets a little bit of R damage that scales with bonus MR, which is nice in the early game, but pretty negligible because it's not really a damaging spell. You got a fucking 3-minute cooldown and it's not like crazy like that. Yeah. So do these changes scream B tier to you, or does it still scream C tier?
I think it'll still be a counter pick champion, right? Like, I do think the mana buff is really good on him because he doesn't buy mana, right? Yep. So that mana buff is really, really strong, right? I don't want to underestimate that. But I just think the hits to, like, in the last year plus the phase rush nerf, and like he'll just get owned in lane before he even gets the base because of Deathfire touch, right? Yep. Too much going against him right now.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the Wind Brothers. I've played some Yasuo. You've played, of course, a lot of Yone. We rated Yone still in dog shit tier in the previous patch, but we were wrong. Tell me about your experience, AJ.
Yeah, so I turned the monologue now. So obviously, as you guys know, I'm a big time Yone player. So I've been playing him since he's come out. Basically, since he's come out, he's only had one build in the last 3 years, which is Bork, right? You rush Bork, you buy Berserker Greaves, and that's it, right? And the problem with this build, I've always said, is that it spikes, but it takes a long freaking time in high elo to get to there. You need your Berserker Greaves and your Bork. And so what I've been saying the last few patches, takes too long, right? Plus the boots upgrade isn't very great on it. Now enter the new Omnivamp boots, right? These boots are probably the strongest upgraded boots out of all the boots, in my opinion, right? It's that strong. It has perfect synergy with Yone, right? You get the Omnivamp, which is great on him. He has so many AoE spells, right? And you get the shield power, which is so powerful with his W, right? And now we can actually pair that with Phantom Dancer. So the beautiful thing about this is you spike really quick because Phantom Dancer is only 2,600 gold, right? The boots are only, next patch are only 1,000 gold. That you can now have your boots plus Phantom Dancer at the same time you would have Bork, right? Plus boots. So you are spiking way faster. And so what I found is that I'm just taking over these games just like that. I rush PD. I've got PD by 9 minutes or something, and then I just take over the game, right? And you actually, the reason why I didn't like this build before last patch, you didn't have healing.
Yep.
You had no healing. And now these Omnivamp boots give you the healing, give you a good boot upgrade to get. I've had so much fun with Yone, so much more success, and now there's actually a different build than Bork. I will say, guys, if you're going to try it, it's definitely harder than Bork because it doesn't scale as hard because you're missing the % HP scaling from Bork. But this gets him online faster, and because of that, I think he's B tier now. I actually think he's quite solid. I'm having a good time picking him in a lot of games. Okay,
and do you think that the changes to the boots, the nerfs, are going to affect him in such a way that he's not going to be B tier anymore? Or do you think he's still going to be B tier?
I still think it'll be B tier because just even having a little bit of healing makes such a big difference. So even though you're getting the healing slower, like the max slower, just having that healing is so good. Having a boot upgrade that isn't Berserkers is really, really good. And then the shielding power, I'll go Revitalize every game. That's how broken shield power is on Yon, right? I even sometimes go Spirit Visage. So getting that on your boots, it's too strong. It's way too strong.
Love it. So Yone, B tier boys, we are so back on this champ.
We're finally back after 10 patches in a row. I think I was having him in D tier.
Took a while, but we finally pulled through.
Yeah.
Now let's also talk about Yasuo, because I want to challenge his S tier status. I think that Yasuo is good. I think that he's got the flexible options, but is he really that good? Because I think one thing that we overlooked in the previous patch is how the Deathfire touch would interact with Yasuo's passive shield. A big problem that you would have as mages, and especially single target mages like Victor, is that if you hit this motherfucker, you would just get the shield and would just do whatever I want when it comes to trading. Yeah. Now, if you proc your Q onto the Yasuo, it sticks for 4 seconds on the Deathfire touch, and the Yasuo shield actually procs a lot earlier.
Yeah, that hurts him a lot.
Absolutely. So I'm really wondering, how good is Yasuo really right now? Is he truly still S tier, or should we move him down towards the A tier?
Okay, so I want to make the same argument for him as with Yone, right? The introduction of the boots with a Phantom Dancer build shoots Yasuo up more. So it's like we've got this balancing lever, right? We got one side is the Deathfire touch actually really fucks over Yasuo. I played Victor versus Yasuo. That felt really annoying for Yasuo because of the shield, right?
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, you're getting this the PD plus the Omnivan boots, which propels him up. Now the question becomes, do you think the boots nerf on him? Because I think this affects Yasuo more than Yone, right? Because he doesn't have an instant shield like Yone does. So does the boots nerf affect Yasuo enough come out of the Deathfire touch to kind of push him down a little bit? What do you think? Because I still think he's S tier. I still hate playing against the champ, and I was Yasuo to be for like 8 years. I still fucking hate playing against the champ when I play mage. That feels so fucking annoying.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if the changes to PD and boots, how much better it is compared towards Yasuo and Yone, because you got to keep in mind with Yone, it changes you being able to control the lane. On Yasuo, you already control the lane. That's the only thing that I'm wondering
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It doesn't really move the needle that much. He's already dominant in lane.
Correct. Yeah, so that's the thought process here, right? Because I could see him being S tier, still being fucking good, but I could also see him being like A tier right now. I wouldn't put it any lower than that though, but
yeah. So I'm a little biased because there's a guy named Aiden Yasuo who plays on A. He gets high challenger every season with Yasuo, and I played against him earlier, like 2 days ago. It was one of the hardest games I played, in a while. Like, he's that good, right? And so I'm biased towards that. So I'll leave it to you. I think he's still S tier, but...
Okay, let's leave him right here right now, and we can always revisit it.
Sounds good.
Great. So Ryze. We put Ryze in A tier previous patch, because Ryze got Phase Rush removed. And getting Phase Rush removed did fucking suck for him. Absolutely did. But he got a new toy to play with, and one of these toys was Deathfire Touch. Why is this reasonably good on him? Well, Ryze is such an easy time proccing it. He can just point and click EU, point and click WU, and you're stuck burning for an insane amount of time. Not only that, but how easy is it for Ryze to keep this on uptime permanently because of his short cooldowns being single target? So you E, Q, W, Q, E, Q, you're burning to death. Right?
Really
so...
true.
You wanted to make the assumption here, like, you don't even think that Ryze is all that bad. You think that he's still incredibly
I actually think he's amazing. I actually think we way undershot him. I actually think he's S+, right? Especially with the boots as well.
S+.
I didn't think about the boots. I think he's that good. I don't know if you watched competitive. There's an LCK match, BDD versus Showmaker, right? Obviously the top mids. BDD was pushing Ori out of lane as Ryze against Showmaker's Ori at level 3 with Deathfire Touch, right? Because they played on the new patch yesterday or 2 days ago. He's pushing an Ori out of lane, like the first 7 levels, right? And when I saw that, I was like, nah, he has to be absurdly good still.
Wait, these boots are just fucking insane on Ryze, huh?
Yes, because of how much single target he has. The healing is all single target healing on the boots.
Yeah.
And then the Deathfire is all single target. And because you buy Seraphs, you get the extra shield power when you need it as well.
Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that.
The Roa healing is stronger too when you're low too.
Yeah, I like that. All right.
I think he's S+. Like, I think I think he's still S+. I don't think he went anywhere. It's just, but to be fair, guys, the style is different now. You're way stronger in lane. You're more of a bully, and you're more of this like juggernaut battle mage rather than going in and out, right? The style is a little bit different.
Dude, I need to play Ryze, man.
I also think the pros have been going Proto Belt on him too, which is actually quite good. Third instead of Actualizer. Yeah.
Third instead of Actualizer Proto Belt.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because you don't have the phase rush as well anymore, so you can utilize the Proto Belt for that.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah. So I think he's absurdly good. I think we undershot this champion.
Let's see if we can find some stats. All right. Insane. Well, why do you think, what I'm really wondering is, why do you think this champion, Orianna, is like so insane still?
That I'm not sure why she's better than Victor. I don't know why she's being picked more than Victor. Could it just be the comment buffs are really nice on her? I'm not sure.
Look, I think I also think that it's I think that people solved playing into Victor in giga high level games because
not enough control,
not enough wave clear. Not enough push control. And I think if in solo queue, even at the highest levels, there's always this struggle of players doing that, and you have ways around it.
Yeah.
But I think in pro level games, it's so coordinated that Victor sometimes then gets stuck. That's my guess. It's my guess. I'm not sure, but Ori seems to be insanely high prio. I think for solo queue though, she isn't S plus.
I think actually the reason I think it's because we're focused too much on lane. I think Ori's pairing in competitive is too strong, right? Because
Right.
Jarvan's really meta, right?
Right.
And you want to deny Jarvan, so you stop Seraphine Ashe, which is the meta bot, right? Which means that if you want to play to deny that, you want Jarvan or Nocturne, who's the best champion to pair with those champion with that champion's a mage.
Oreo.
So I think it's less about the matchup that we're focused on, and more how does Ori pair with the other champions in competitive, right?
Yep. Makes sense. Still think she's good though. Still a good champion. Okay, let's talk about the champs in Volatile, because there were that we struggled to discuss. Now let's start with LeBlanc. I tested AD LeBlanc. It's fucking dog shit, double D tier. Yeah. It's fucking disgusting. The interactions didn't work the way that I want to. I thought that it would literally work with fucking Lich Bane, right? Lich Bane would proc with that thing. It didn't work when I tested it on the dummies in practice tool. So LeBlanc AD is like, don't fucking play that shit. You're gonna lose every game.
Below D tier.
Exactly. But AP LeBlanc, have you seen any LeBlanc?
No, I was gonna ask you. Do you use Deathfire Touch? Because I think she used Deathfire Touch really well.
Nah, there's no way you use Deathfire Touch over Electrocute. It fucks your mid game. You can't take that, because you're not gonna be. Yes, you're gonna be doing fine in lane, but how about your mid game? You can't one-shot people anymore.
Right, and she really likes Domination Tree as well.
Yeah, she likes this. You could like do this with this, and Scorch. It is doable.
For lane, right? That's what I was thinking. And set an impact. You just have like a disgusting lane, but
yeah, I don't think it's good, man. I don't think Deathfire Touch is extremely good. Niche could work, but not extremely good. I think that LeBlanc in general, like she's like fine, not extremely good. She's pickable. I would say she's in the B tier right here. It's just so easily counterable still with the
Roa Mercs.
With the waves, this Roa. I played in like 4 LeBlancs like last patch. They've been picking this champion every single time I go Victor. There's just people thinking, it's my time to solo kill him with LeBlanc. I just built 2 Ruby Crystals and the game's over, man. It's just no counterplay.
Yeah.
No counterplay.
Yeah, because to be honest, LeBlanc is like, the design is really problematic because she's too strong. It's like literally so unfair to play against her. But then if she's too weak, it feels awful to be the LeBlanc, right? So it's like you've got this weird dynamic going where she can't be too oppressive or just like the most unfun laner to play against.
Correct. She's either extremely good or just dog shit.
Yep.
Now Jayce, have you seen any Jayce?
I tried a little bit of Voltaic Jayce.
Okay, how was it?
It's okay, but I think it's just because Voltaic is OP. I think if Voltaic gets a nerf, I don't think he's that good. Okay. I think he's just abusing Voltaic really hard. Omnivan boots are solid as well, but again, those are also getting nerfed on him. So yeah, I think he's okay. Nothing crazy though. I didn't like play. I'm like, oh my god, this is so crazy. Like Zed into Fairy Ware. It's more just like, yeah, these new items make him strong, but
how would you rate him?
What we have him before? B tier?
Yeah, I think he would be a B tier inhabitant, yeah.
I think he's C tier. I think he's a little lower. Because what I found is that Jayce is really good in the right lanes, right? If you play Jayce into Yone, it's like unplayable for Yone, right? You play Jayce into Silas, it's really fucking good, right?
Right.
But then you play Jayce against some of the stronger champs like Ryze, good luck. Victor is probably annoying, right? Hui's unplayable, Ori's unplayable, so.
Right. Okay. I want to talk about some champs in the B tier here. These AD carry mids. I've not seen a single AD carry mid. What's going on here? I think they're worse.
You think they're worse? So what's interesting, I think the pure ADC, like the pure auto attack, like attack damage ones are worse, right? But we'll get to it. I think the AP ones are actually where Trist and Corki should be, right? We're probably not going to add them to the list, but basically what I'm saying is I think Trist and Corki just get countered too hard by Deathfire Touch.
Yep.
And the strong mages right now. They get completely annihilated, eviscerated, obliterated. But then Kog'Maw, Kai'Sa, Ezreal, I don't know. But Kog'Maw and Kai'Sa, I actually felt pretty fucking good with shit and mid. I don't know if you've seen them or not.
No, I've not seen them at all.
Smolder mid has also seemed good.
Okay. But you reckon that Trist and Corki, they're moving down to C?
Yeah, they're moving down. Deathfire Touch, you just get fucked too hard.
Yep, I agree. Let's take a look. Cassiopeia. Now, Cassiopeia has also got a little bit of a new toy to play with. Deathfire Touch is also really, really good on her. It's not like insane levels of strength, but I think a good comparison is that if you would compare the Cassiopeia versus Ryze matchup in the past to right now, I think that Cassiopeia has a lot better of a time with the removal of phase rush and her kind of just stat checking some people. So
Right.
I think
and I think Cassio really good into Ryze, right?
now she is. Like, Ryze had tools with phase rush to get out, but now Cassiopeia just fucking right clicks and stat checks this guy very, very heavily.
Fair. Right.
I think that a lot of people might get baited into just doing Deathfire Touch all the time. Right, I think that there's still a place for Conqueror. I think there's also a place for Deathfire Touch, depending on if you can take the extended traits, depending on how you interact with the enemy champion, if they're running Door Shield or if they're running no regeneration. But I do think that it's a rune that she likes to explore and that she can use. I don't think this is a bad champion by any means. I would personally say she's like somewhere in B tier next to Anivia. What do you reckon?
Does she like the boots?
I don't know if she does. It does look like she does. Yeah, I played against the Cassio top with those boots. That was pretty annoying, actually.
Yeah, so I think she kind of is getting the Ryze treatment. It's the same thing, right? I think the boots plus Deathfire Touch, plus I think Protoball is actually pretty good on Cassio as well later into the game. Yeah. So, pairs well with her. So I think because of those things, I think she's good. I think she might be like, top B, I think.
Top B? Let's put it down.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, just to mention, guys, these champions we're rating right now, they're champions we didn't feel comfortable rating last patch, right? Because how many changes they were getting. So, like stuff like Cassio and Veigar. So now that we've got some data and the game is settled, we played against these champs, we can make a better estimate.
Yep. Correct. Veigar, you seen any Veigar?
Zero.
Me too. Looks pretty mediocre in my games.
Yeah, mediocre.
I don't think he's like any special. Champ's probably fine. You can play him if you're good. I don't think he necessarily loved the Storm Raiders. He can use it in some situations. He didn't necessarily love Deathfire Touch. Ahri is probably still the most consistent rune for him to take. So not super special. I reckon he's probably C tier with all of these other champs.
Bad on him as well, right?
Yeah, it's just bad.
Yeah, I think C tier.
Annie. Now, let's just start with the fact that Annie's pro play rate has been pretty high, but I've not seen her once in solo queue. What about you?
I've not seen her once either, but just theoretically speaking, I feel like she should be good, right? Because of Deathfire Touch, melee Q, or you can go Electric Q depending on the lane. Protopal is obviously really good on her.
Yeah, Deathfire Touch is what's used.
Because your E apply. Oh my god, that is disgusting.
Let's do a little bit more stats, because not a lot of people play this champion actually.
Right.
Balances out a lot better. Still good. Still good.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Game average win rate isn't exceptionally high.
Yeah. I mean, it's about what it should be for an easy to play champion, right? Slightly above 50%.
Yeah, so
I think
how good is she really?
I think she's just solid, right? Especially for solo queue. Like, I don't think she's bad, but I don't think she's amazing. Just because, like, either she gets Deathfire Touch, the late player she's playing, like, the champion she's playing is also get Deathfire Touch as well, right? That's what we have to think about. It's like you play against Victor, your E is way less good against Victor when it's, when your E runs out and then Deathfire Touch is still hitting you, right? So you're still taking the damage. So I think she's okay. I think she's like B. I think she'll get destroyed by Ryze, Victor.
You think she's B, not A? I would say she's A. I just fucking hate Annie, dude. I just fucking hate this champion.
It sounds like you hate her.
Yeah, I literally hate this champ.
She's like LeBlanc though, right? She gets countered by specific things. You buy Mercs, you buy some tank stats. And it's like Annie doesn't really have a great time. Wave clear is still really bad.
This champ is so hard to rate. Because I'm also looking at this and I'm like, why the fuck are these...
a good amount of it is Chovy though, right? Isn't it? Like he picks into his year.
Caps, dude. Fucking hell, caps.
Interesting. I guess everyone plays it. Never mind.
It's hard to say.
Can we see what champions they're playing it against? Because I have a feeling it's against like specific shit.
Pout. Never heard of that guy. Into Jayce. Oh, they're picking it into Ryze a lot.
Fascinating. I thought Ryze would do well into NA, but I guess not.
Probably just jungle setup things, man.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Ori, I think. I think that's more the reason why they're picking her, right? So, like, if we're talking about a solo queue environment, like, recommending a Master Plus player what to play, I don't know.
Nah, I don't think we should. Look, if you're a good Annie, if you already can play this champion, and you know very well how to maneuver this champ around the lane, I think there's an argument she could be A tier, but I fucking hate this champ. I'm going to be honest. It's a bit biased, guys. It's a bit biased, this one. Okay, Vladimir. Now, how good were these changes on Vladimir?
Deathfire Touch. We're going back to this. Let's see.
What does he actually take? Is he... Wow. That's wild.
To be fair, Conqueror's also really good on him too, right?
I'm not sure what... I think Conqueror is maybe more common still.
Yeah.
I think these boots should be pretty decent on him. I think he's got a lot of good options.
Yeah, because the thing is, Vlad is a champ where like you have different styles, right? You've got the like drain tank build where you're more durable, or you got the burst build, right? All the high yield Vlads I play against go the full burst build, right? Where they buy Slurks and they go Deathfire Touch for laning to make their laning as good as possible.
Yeah.
And they just try to take over like that. So that's what I've seen so far. It's just been only Deathfire, and it felt really fucking annoying to play against, to be honest with you, right?
Okay. It's awkward because I just haven't seen this champion, man.
Mm.
I can theorize why he's good, but I think you should like rate him.
I think personally he's either A or B. And before we had him seen counterpick, the reason why I say I think he's higher is he's got more flexibility now, right?
Okay.
If you need even more sustain for whatever reason, you go Omnivamp boots. If you need more lane power, right? Before Ahri is like okay, but I think Deathfire Touch trounces Ahri for Vlad laning, right? If you need laning, you can go that. If you need to go burst, you go Storm Surge. Protoball is obviously absurdly good right now, and he can utilize it. So I think because of his build flexibility and his rune flexibility compared to previous patches where we had him in C, I think he's either A or B. Maybe bottom of A, like where Brand is, and I think similar-ish to Brand in terms of power level, I would say, for mid specifically.
Sure, that's good. I want to, before we go into these artillery mages, because we didn't really rate them because of the comment, right? I think that the power level is too high on our tier list. I want to move some stuff down. And I think that I want to like really talk about D here. Can we get some more shit
some stuff to D.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about size?
So let's start with D. Okay, let's start with D tier high level, right? What does D tier actually mean? Because we have every other one is strictly defined for us, right? Like S plus is the best, right? A tier is like very strong, you can OTP it. B is solid, right? You need to pair it with something. C is counterpick. So what does D tier mean for us in our tier list? Like help the viewers understand what does D tier mean.
So D tier are champs that even when they are put in good positions, will still not be extremely useful because of certain conditions. Let's take Vex or Lux as a good example. Vex is a champion that is just super easily countered by just building MR, and then she can't really burst anyone. She's going to struggle contesting in the side. Yes, she has some options in the hard engaging on mid, but it's just not the best champ. There's much better champions comparatively towards her that do a very similar thing. Mel is, I think, just underpowered at the moment. It's just whack. As you know, the nerfs hit her pretty hard, right?
I love that definition. Like extrapolating, guys. Why we have Mel and D's. Even if you pick Mel into a good matchup, you will still it's still not going to be that good, right? And that's the only time Mel should be good, right? You should be picking into Sejuani or Ahri, and it's still not that good, right?
Yeah.
She's still not for high levels, and it's because she's so frustrating. So I love that definition. D tier are champions where even if you pick them in the best case scenario for them, there's still probably a better option of champion you could have played, right?
Yep.
I think that's what D tier really means. So what we got to think about is like, what champions fit that bill for us? What champions on our list where it's like, even a really good Silas game, is there a better option? That's what the question we got to ask ourselves.
Yeah, look, you always got the Malphite angle and then the magic Silas game, right? There's always that one angle. But I personally have the feeling that Silas just really didn't really like that the changes with the Deathfire Touch, makes the laning a lot more oppressive. He doesn't really have many good tools. Yeah, and look, I think he can use these boots, but I don't really necessarily think that that's like super much in his identity because he's already got the healing in his W. I think he wants to invest in other type of boots.
Cassio destroys him, Ryze destroys him, which are up on the up and up. Yeah. So I think really why we would shift him to D is because his matchups are getting harder and harder, and there's less and less even good Silas games that you can find, right?
Yep. Unfortunately, probably there.
In that regard, I think even Galio should be D tier. Yeah. No?
Galio should be D tier.
I think even if I pick I'm thinking like, what's Galio's best champion to play against? Akali. I don't even know if you're happy picking a Galio and Akali right now with Gunblade dealing 80 damage, right? How much weaker the 6% the quest is for him. Yeah. So I'm totally fine putting Galio in D as well.
Yeah, especially because Akali now has this beautiful new tool as well that we'd like to call the new boots, which is also like immense on her. Look,
yeah, especially against something like Galio. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I think that's really overseen with these boots on Akali is that it just gives you like wave clear breakpoints like permanently with the upgraded boots.
Yeah, because it does damage on the minions.
You don't lose wave clear breakpoints anymore, and this is just immense. So yeah, I really think that Galio is probably D tier as well. Unfortunately. Yeah. Okay. We're going to move a little bit more power level down in a second. We're going to key about this A tier, but first let's talk about the artillery mages here. Have you seen any artillery mages?
I saw one Xerath when I was climbing through Masters, and I saw a Cog, but he was playing the ADC version. So I've seen one. Literally one.
Okay. So it looks like Xerath doesn't have bad win rates here. Let's investigate what's actually going on. How good is Comet? Comet seems to be hitting pretty hard. Yeah, very interesting. I'm not sure how that works.
So this is my take for Dark Harvest on Xerath. The way you win games in Xerath is you use your ult like Karthus ult, right? So you when somebody's low, you push mid and you just snipe them, right? And you just get random kills around the map and make people fall behind. So Dark Harvest plays into the identity really well, right?
Okay.
I think a common trend we're seeing with these artillery mages, they can't get enough of a lead in lane to make up for their weaknesses outside of lane, right? So like, yes, Comet accelerates his lane, and that's probably where the win rate's coming from. But my argument would be like these mages just struggle so hard out of lane that the Comet doesn't thread the needle enough, in my opinion.
I think that they're still probably counterpicked here, C tier.
Yes, I agree.
And I want to just mention, right, that we do a lot of VOD reviews with players that play into these zone control oriented mages, like these artillery mages. And what I see a lot in this Emerald Diamond range when I review these players playing into Xerath is that Xerath gets away with like murder, right? They, for example, don't bully him out properly. Xerath gets through the lane and then he just starts ulting sides, and then the teammates just get insanely tilted because Xerath's ulting sides all the time. And no one's pinging that they're not keeping Xerath pinned in the tower. Xerath is getting these opportunities to actually roam. It's not being pinged as well. And that's when champs like Xerath can actually get going quite heavily when he gets good quality ults, right? But yeah, I don't think he's super good.
I don't think so either. I think he's the best out of all of them, though. Like, I think he's a tier above Ziggs and Vel'Koz. Like, I would be comfortable putting those Ziggs and Vel'Koz in D tier, to be honest.
D tier, even.
I think they're that bad. Like, because think about it. If you're playing Ziggs, you're competing against the other artillery mage, right? So it's like, would you rather have Ziggs or Xerath on your team? It's like the only advantage Ziggs has over Xerath right now for mid is your mobility, right? But I think Ziggs ult is worse than Xerath are in mid specifically. I think you can't really use his pushing power because in mid you have to side, right? It's really hard to siege as a mid laner. So I just don't see why you'd pick Ziggs over Xerath right now. And then for the Vel'Koz, the reason why I don't like Vel'Koz is that Vel'Koz is an artillery mage that needs to get in position early, right? So you need to be at the play early, which is really, really, really awkward for an artillery mage, right? So I think these champs are terrible. I think Xerath, I can argue C tier because there's ult. I think the other two are just like awful.
Yep.
Awful.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting, right? We've had the biggest D tier like we've had in a while, and I think that's a good thing, actually. Yeah, I think that we should spread it out a little bit more. Kog'Maw, you mentioned that Kog'Maw with static. Have you seen?
He's broken as fuck, but that's not because of the artillery version. It's the Shiv version.
Really?
Yeah.
Dusk and Dawn or what?
So you go Shiv and then you go like Rageblade or Dusk and Dawn. I guess the win rate is really trash, but the guy played. So I was playing against a 2K LP player just because he's really good at the game. But he went Shiv Cog, and that shit was the most annoying thing to play against because he would W, and the W splash would just Shiv hit me. Like I was playing Yone, and he would just W auto the wave. The wave gets one-shotted by his E as well, and then I like lose like 10% of my health, and it was so fucking annoying to play against. But stats-wise, I guess it's not that good. So I could be biased here from the game I played.
Look, I think that maybe that guy was good. I've not seen any Kog'Maw. Yeah. I'm not confident putting him higher than C tier.
Yeah.
So I'm happy putting him here, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think I actually do want to give it a try because I've been experimenting. This is a good segue, just real quick to talk about the ADC mids, right? Because I do want to talk about Kai'Sa, specifically Kai'Sa and Ezreal. Yeah. Because you haven't seen them, but a lot of the NA pros like Quid have been playing them nonstop and talking about how good they are. So now I'm not sure how good they actually are. I haven't seen that much of them, but I just want to bring that to the table, guys. Like, think about Shiv on these other mid laners, right? Like Kai'Sa and Kog'Maw and stuff. They could be okay.
I know we have an MLA player that is trying out Ezreal mid, and shout out to you, by the way, Ben, and losing a lot of games. He's losing a lot of games, but that's okay. He'll break through. Ezreal's probably not that good, especially with the
I think he's just too hard. I think Ezreal is literally the hardest champ in the game, like one of the hardest champs in the game. Right? So it's like It's like, dude, imagine something that MLA is like first timing his year. That's like how hard Ezreal is, right? It's like I think that's part of the reason why the win rate's so bad. I don't think he's actually that bad mid. I think he's just that hard, and like mid laners just don't play Ezreal, right? It's like it's like his year in terms of difficulty.
Right. We've ranked most of the changes, most of the champions right now. I want to make a few adjustments still because I think it's still a little bit top heavy. And I want to key about some of these top tier champs. Now, Aurora. I have not seen any Aurora. I think that the Deathfire changes actually hurt her because it puts her down in laning strength. The laning
is a lot harder. Yes.
Yes.
I agree.
If you play like Ryze DFT or Victor DFT into the likes of Aurora, she's like crying right now. Before it was like you could like manage it, but it's like you're forced to run second wind if you want to like contest heavily. And otherwise, you're just gonna like you need to play really fucking well and land every Q, and it's just hard to do that.
Yeah.
You still play Aurora, right? I've not seen any Aurora. Where is she at right now?
Okay, so I'm extremely biased towards Aurora. Obviously, my win rate is extremely high. I win every single game, but I have felt I've been liking. So the thing is with Aurora and Ahri is they're very interchangeable. So I kind of go based on which one I'm liking to pick more. I personally feeling like Ahri feels a lot better than Aurora right now.
Right.
And there's another change in this patch that we haven't talked about. I want to talk about that will make Ahri feel even better. But I think Aurora definitely feels a lot worse, right? I think like the fact that, like you said, Deathfire touch, again, Ryze is still being good. You know, hurts her too much, in my opinion.
Yep.
I think she's definitely weaker than Ahri, which means she should go down a tier.
Yep. I love that. Okay, let's segue that into Ahri, because Ahri is getting some nice toys. Especially build-wise. The Lich Bane buff
I'm so happy with this.
So good for her,
I think it's too much. I think
it's too much?
For context, I have won my last 17 Ahri game. I've won 17 on my last 18 Ahri games, and I go Malignance, Lich Bane every single game. Without every single one. I've not deviated from that build a single time. I played against a pro player, won it. Played against Aiden Yasuo, probably the best Yasuo in the world, won it. Right? Every single game I played it, and I've won every single game. And this Lich Bane buff is an absurd buff. Like this is a gargantuan buff. Movement speed buff on an item, absurdly good. AP ratio buff on a threshold champ like Ahri, absurdly good. I don't know. I think this is gonna propel me up. I'm about to get inflated so hard from this change.
Good patches for you, huh?
Yeah, like my last Ahri game, I think I got Pentakill in my last Ahri game, and I started the game like 4-4. The second I got Lich Bane Malignant, I literally Pentakilled their team like instantly. So
yeah, look, I think that Ahri, look, the patch wasn't like especially nice to her. It wasn't like bad. Like Ahri is always just gonna be Ahri, right? But she got the tool of the Deathfire touch that she could use. I still think that Electrocute is probably the rune you want to go. Guys, if you want to watch Ahri, AJ is a really good Ahri, but if I want to watch Ahri, I just go to this Peng guy, right? Peng OBG. I just copy what he's doing. This guy's a freak on this champion, man. And he usually has the builds.
Much, right?
He's going a little bit of Lich Bane. He likes the Blackfire Torch Cosmic a lot.
Yeah, right.
But you can see he's still predominantly going Electrocute and also combines BFT with Lich Bane. So this is a very interesting one and one that I've been thinking about. So why do you go Malignance into Lich? Is it because of the extra shred that the Malignance provides into the one-shot combo?
Yeah, because what I like about Ahri, and the reason why I always go with Assassin build, is that I have the most success with Ahri when I play the split push style, right? Come from a flank like you would in Akali, watch out their ADC and get out. Whereas I think, Ahri has this flexibility where, like, depending on your build, you could be front to back. You could go for charm fishing, right? Where you're spamming your charm, right? You just being this annoying little rat with Cosmic, right? But that's not the build I've loved, right? But I think Blackfire Torch plays with that more. Whereas I think with me, I love using the R and going for those flanks. So I personally have more success with Malignance for the shred and just more R's, better backline target access.
Because you also go like Pen Boots while Peng actually goes...
I go Pen Boots every game. Lucidity. I go Ignite, Pen Boots, Lich Bane every game, no matter who I'm playing against. I could literally be playing against like a pro player and I'll still do it, right? That's just what I've been doing every single game as Ahri.
So what do you think? He goes Lucidities every single game. Like what do you think the differences are? It's just the playstyle?
Yeah, I think the difference is the playstyle. With his build, it's a lot more fishing for those E's, getting some chunks out with their W, playing a little bit slower, right? Fishing for this, fishing for Qs, playing that front to back, and then going in when the fight has started. Whereas me, I'm like, like if you watch how I play Ahri, the second a fight breaks out, I'm instant flash RW auto someone instantly. And I do that every single game, right? So I think it's a playstyle difference as well as
Okay.
like just I think his build is a little bit more resistant to better quality players, if that makes sense. Like his
Right.
build works better against really high quality players, whereas mine is like the noob stomper, right? As I say, because right now I'm climbing my account back for Masters or LP.
Yeah.
I haven't had as much time to play, so like me playing, like if I play against players that are better than me, being this full assassin style, I can just take over the game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. I'm going to try both builds. I wanted to play a little bit more Ahri because of the fact that these buffs are coming in. That's like, I also like the Lichbane Ahri style a lot.
So good for me. Yeah. I love it.
Great. So Ahri, definitely high up here in the S+ tier.
Yeah.
I think Akali should be here as well. I think Akali's so fucking good, man.
She's absurd with the
my God.
the Gunblade plus the Omnivamp boots when you get the threshold, and the AD AP is actually good on her from the quest because you're getting AD and AP from your item, so you're kind of getting that double dipping value.
Yep, with the wave clear breakpoint, right? This is like
exactly
you being able to one shot those caster creeps, guys. It's like magnificent. It's so nice. It's
you're
it
on the map
takes
for much longer too because you heal so much.
Yeah, exactly. You heal so much, so your side lane is a lot stronger. Akali is amazing, guys. Really, really good. Now, Lissandra is one that we thought would be still really good, but where is she? I've not seen any Lissandra.
Play against her, I'm annoyed. I play against her in lane, but I always play mid-range champion. I don't really play that many mages.
Right.
I still think she's really good. I think it's taking people, like, to be honest, this is my hot take. It's taking people time to warm up to her, right?
Right.
Because people have this idea that like Liss is only good for gank setup and stuff, and like she can't play against long range champs, and people just haven't utilized that Q buff enough, right? And people still going mana items on her, which I think is complete trash as well. I think going Manaless makes her a lot stronger as well. So that's my take on her.
Okay. So would you reckon she's still S+, or would you reckon she's S tier?
This is where it's tough because I think in terms of raw power, she's S+, but maybe perception-wise, people don't agree, right? But I think if I were to say like, give me the best 5 mids that I would recommend someone to play if they like don't care about anything and they just want the strongest, I think she's got to be there. I don't know. I could be biased, but I think she just has so many tools and she's so good in the meta as well.
Okay. All right. Let's discuss some champs in S tier because we're gonna push a little bit of stuff down. I want to start with Zoe here. What do you reckon with Zoe? Because I have not. I used to be before they nerfed Zoe, right? I used to be so pissed off by seeing her every single game that I banned her. But she actually received some nerfs, and as you can see, the win rate's been dropping slightly since then. Is she still S level strong, or is she now A level strong?
So I heard some murmurings from people that she actually got buffed for higher elo. I don't know how true that is, because you get rewarded heavily for the E. Like if you go to Master Plus or Grandmaster Plus, what is the win rate higher or is it lower?
You gotta always look at it in perspective, right?
Yeah.
Because yes, if you land it, but there's just so many ways to not land it, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's because one dodge with like an Ezreal E or Lucian E, and she's just nerfed.
It's more skilled, quote unquote, right?
Yeah. I'm as a Zoe hater, right? I don't like this champion. There's some champs I don't like. Any Zoe, okay? As a Zoe hater, I liked the changes that they did. Okay, so from the other perspective, I thought the changes.
I like them
good.
too.
Yeah, you also don't like Zoe, right?
I hate playing as Zoe. Yeah. Like Zoe, LeBlanc, these champs where they feel like you dodge their skills and you still get shit on. I hate playing against these champs. So I think she's definitely a lot weaker for sure.
I want to kill some champs from this S tier here. Let's kill her into A.
Do you think she's even B tier?
No, I don't think she's B tier. I still think she's good.
She's B tier?
No,
okay.
I do think that we gotta look at the likes of one of these mages here. Which is the weakest mage from these three? Because the mages are generally good.
I think it's Hui.
You think it's Wei?
I think, not to say he's bad, by the way. Like, I want to be clear. Not to say he's bad, but I think the Comet change and the Deathfire change is not as strong as I thought it would be on him.
Right. They've been running a lot of Deathfire Torch, but it's actually not extremely easy to proc for him, you know?
Yeah, it's not.
It's not like Victor levels of uptime.
Yeah, and the problem with Hui is, like, I think Victor, you can start going this manaless build, right? I think it's a lot more difficult to do manaless build on Hui, so I think we're going to see as people try their hardest to skip a mana item because of how dog shit the mana items are. I think Hwei, his reliance on the mana item. I think Potabolt's like really awkward on him as well. Again, not to say he's bad, right? I still think he's actually good, right? I still think he's good. Just maybe Ori is a little bit better, Victor's a little better. Syndra, you're a Syndra expert, so you can we talked about Syndra versus Hwei last time, but I think he's just a little bit weaker than Ori and Victor for sure.
Yeah. I like Syndra, dude. I've been playing actually a lot more Syndra games, and I feel like I can play the game on this champion. I feel like, of course, some matchups are tough, and God forbid, like fucking Zed, Katarina, man, those matchups are like brutal levels of bad. Almost feels like in the past, I felt like I could do shit into Kata, but nowadays, like when I play Syndra into Kata, I just one mistake, it's fucking done, dude. It's fucking done. But there's just some really bad matchups. There's also some that are just quite good. But I think Syndra, in general, solid champion right now.
Okay.
Solid champion. So how did the Talia changes actually land? Is she now better?
I haven't not seen any Talia.
No, me neither. Not extremely good.
I think she's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think she's still bad. No phase rush.
Yeah, phase rush hurt her, huh?
Yeah, hurt her too much.
Okay, I want to remove like 2 more champs here from the A tier and boom them down into B.
I think Talia should be B or even C.
You think Talia is actually B?
Yeah, she's too good.
Why? What makes you...
Because she gets owned by Deathfire Touch users, and not having phase rush makes it really annoying. Like I think Deathfire Torch on her is like whatever, right?
Let's see. Have the pros? I know BDD's been playing it. Not extremely high. Even Victor, even Jayce fucking mid is higher prio. Yeah, if she's not like giga picked up in this patch by pros, because it's like a pro level champ, she's probably not extremely good.
Really bad.
Okay, how about TF or Fizz or Kassadin? What about these champions here? Let's think.
I'm really biased to Kassadin. I think this champ has always been terrible. Like,
right.
I don't know. I've never liked Kassadin. I think he's such like he's gimmicky in a way where it's like if your team is winning, you win guaranteed. And if you have people that can bail you out, you win guaranteed. Otherwise, he's just useless for like 20 minutes. That's how I always feel with Kassadin. Like I've never seen Kassadin succeed, even like OTPs when I play against them. They never do anything. Yeah,
because people have been liking the Deathfire Torch on him.
Yeah, I know it's definitely good on him.
And I think he's doing some creative shit with itemization as well.
Because I think Kassadin's one of those champs where if you play in a slightly weaker lobby, you like auto win, right? But then you play against people your skill level, and you're gonna have a really tough time. Like if you compare the game average win rate, his actual win rate. So if you play against somebody your skill level, like you're winning like 8% less than you play somebody you're better than.
Maybe that's just the reality of Kassadin, huh?
That's the reality of Kassadin. Yeah, that's always been my perspective on him. It's like if you play against somebody you're slightly better than, you will win like every game. But the second you play against somebody your skill level or better than you in your lane, you are getting completely destroyed.
Maybe we should put him down then.
Yeah.
Because these stats kind of convinced me suddenly in the sense like I didn't actually know how bad it was. Okay. Yeah, let's put him in C tier.
Yep, I like it.
Okay. Fizz is probably still gonna be A because of Lich Bane buffs. Fizz loves that shit. Echo's probably still gonna be A. Akshan's still good. Kata's still good. Kiana's still decent. I've played a brand game actually. Holy fucking shit, you do so much damage, dude.
Yeah, he does a lot of damage.
Holy moly.
But he's been picked in every role, so I have a feeling he'll probably get nerfed at some point.
Yeah. Look, the thing with Brand is that there's just a few team comps, a few matchups that you don't really like. You don't want to play into Zed, you're just going to get blasted. These control mates like Syndra, Ori, Victor, you're going to get blasted. Akali, Yasuo. It's just a lot of really bad matchups. But this champion, if you pick it, like, it's not really a counter pick, but there's just some conditions that make it hard for him to play, but he will always be able to get his damage off. And that just makes him really problematic.
Yeah.
Let's see if I played the brand game here. You should see how fucking high the kill ranges are on this champion. This Smolder just fucking died here. R with the W, and then he's like half HP, right? And he's just burning to death right now. And I love that because it's just off screen. Someone, I can see them sitting in their chair, looking at their HP bar, and they're just fucking dying, man. I think here's another kill where this Yone is just fucking burning. Look at how I kill him here. I just hit him with the Q. I wait, and I just fucking... He's dead from this point.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's just, you see, he's
Oh, he
trying to
has a D-shield,
regenerate.
though.
Yeah, he doesn't have
Oh, he has a
D-shield.
D-shield, that's why. Okay.
And he just fucking dies.
Right.
It's just amazing. I love shit like that. Brand's fun as hell. But yeah, not extremely good. Okay, overall, right? Some thoughts on these next 2 weeks. What are we going to see? What is the meta going to look like? What is our job? What is our role as mid laners going to be?
Fascinating. Yeah, tough question. I think we still have this style where you're more of a facilitator role, right? Where, like, again, let's look at the competitive. Annie or Ori. What was the third one? Ryze?
Ryze, yeah.
Those top three is still facilitator-oriented champions, right?
Yep.
Where you're playing to either dominate your lane and then shift to play with your jungler, or you're doing some pairing with your jungler. So I still think that's our high-level role, right? But what I will say is that other identities are creeping in now, right? We've got the Zed, the assassin identity, right, coming from flanks, the Lich Bane buffs for Ahri, Akali. So we've got these two different identities, and I think it just depends what champion you're playing, and then you hyper-index, right? It's like you hyper-index in that push and move facilitator, or you're hyper indexing in that assassin style, right? I think that's kind of our identity right now as a mid laner. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I have the feeling that lane, like being able to lane and get lane control is still just, we've talked about this for the past, like, I don't know how many months, but it's still just the number one priority that you're going to do. Like, if you can get control of your lane, whatever you do with it translates into you being able to make productive plays on the map. Hence is why we see the likes of Ryze, who does it through trading and through wave control. Victor, through trading. Ahri, through wave control. Akali, through trading. Lissandra, through wave control. These are the best champs in their niche that are able to take control of the lane through whatever means that they like to do it through. And that way they can impact the map. These are all champs that can also side lane, right? All of these champs. I mean, this guy is not like the best side laner. This is probably the worst side laner, Lissandra. But Ryze is a fucking great side laner. Victor is a fucking great side laner because of the build flexibility and the upgrades that you get. Ahri is fantastic in the side lane. Akali is next level in the 1v1, right? So all of these champions have the option to use that strength that they have in the lane to then translate it and make proactive plays on the map. And then because they get side lane prio and they can actually stand their ground also versus a lot of top lane champions, or they can like dance around the top lane champs or do something that they like get around it and then still push the wave and get move timers. They are just impactful. And that's what we're going to see here in the next 2 weeks. Impact. I think the word is impact. I like that.
Impact.
These champs have impact. So anything that you want to discuss still about this patch or...
Yeah, so I'm sure people are going to have questions. Maybe it was bad to leave this to the end, but what do we think about Storm Raider Surge buff? What do we think about that? You think that's going to thread the needle? Because I think it doesn't change anything.
No, it doesn't change much.
Changes really nothing. I think it's still just too weak because it's based off of how much damage you deal. So it's too.
It's hard to proc. Sometimes it's too inconsistent.
That's the problem. The buff itself is not the problem, but it's the proc.
Yep, that's right. All right, everybody. So in the next episode, we're going to be including the question part again. So there weren't that many interesting questions. So I'd love to see you guys' questions about any champions. Put it in the comments. We will definitely get back to you. Or join the Discord, which the link is going to be in the description, in which that you can also put it in the dedicated PATCHCAST channel. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Enjoy the games because right now it's hyper competitive, extremely fun.
Yes.
Thank you for watching, guys. Peace out.